What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the high-grade Duel Blitz Gundam from Gundam Seed Freedom. With an appearance on par with cheap MCU cameos, it's repaired from the damaged duel from the first Bloody Valentine War and upgraded with a Zaku Warrior cockpit, a nuclear power source, and a new set of Assault Shroud armor. Over the course of about 22 years, the runner count of the duel has increased from 5 to 12, apart from including a modded sticker sheet and a yellow wire. The build itself actually takes me back to when the high-grade Build Strike was first released, as the construction feels very similar to the high-grade Cosmic Era Strike's frame, except done away with polycats and having the Seed action system implemented. The rest of the build almost feels reminiscent of the Strike as well, but also feels relatively new at the same time, leading to a very similar and familiar build that is oddly refreshing. However, it is worth noting that the dark blue is very susceptible to nut marks, and while the majority of the parts aren't all that bad, there are some huge old school gates used on parts like the feet, which really isn't ideal for a new kit like this. All in all, it's an enjoyable mix of old and new, but finesse and elbow grease are also paramount. Though it is not hard to notice that the runner labels are split between Duel Gundam, Duel Blitz Gundam, and the GAT frame despite all of them being entirely new, which opens doors for speculation as to what the future holds besides the frame being reused in the Lightning Buster. However, if you want even more promise, the Assault Shroud parts that are tagged onto the standard dual runners can be all easily gated away, with the exception of the darts and the claws thrusters, ensuring easy reuse of the core body parts should they release variants in the future. Once put together though, and starting with the base duel as per popular demand, you can easily recognize that the aesthetics are night and day compared to the old one. The proportions are not only balanced, but sharp and sleek as well. The color choices are also correct, and the only stickers on this form are for filling in the eyes and enhancing the head cameras. Scene lines are also nowhere to be found, as most of them are filled in with channels. Granted, it's hard to get a design as simple as the duel wrong in this day and age, but it's still mesmerizing what improvements 22 years can bring. That being said, the one disappointment I have with the base look is the backpack, as not only are the thrusters not separate parts and will require a painting, they arguably backsteps compared to the old one, as the latter had color separated bottom thrusters. Sure, it's hidden in the back, but I am a bit baffled and disappointed about it, as this would have been a perfect looking high-grade duel otherwise. Besides that, painting in the thruster rims and Vulcans and bringing out the details will help a little bit, but I'd argue that the base high-grade Cosmic Era Duel Gundam is displayable as it is, albeit with a sour expression on my face. Articulation wise, the head is on a ball and hinge neck joint, and thanks to the simple collar design, it is basically unrestricted. The shoulders are on a butterfly joint and ball joint, while the shoulder armor and flap can move out of the way for the arms to raise on 2 points. There is a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and ball jointed wrists that tend to hang loosely when dislocated. The abs and waist can move using a clip, swivel, and ball joint, allowing for wide crunches and a full waist rotation. The side skirts can move, while the legs can drop down individually to pull off full splits towards all directions. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and double hinged ball jointed feet. Finally, the beam saber holsters can move. Articulation is yet another aspect that feels nostalgic yet refreshing, as the wide flexibility and sturdy structure are a huge improvement over the old one, while feeling similar to the high-grade Cosmic Era Strike, so the kit can pose up a storm without the need to worry about it falling to pieces. For accessories, besides the sole set of holding hands, there are also the beam sabers and beam rifle. The former simply slides into the hands using the SP12 beams, while the rifle with a green sticker for the scope and no moving parts sandwiches in for use. Both of the weapons are solid and functionally straightforward, though the sabers would need a pinch on the hand cover for a better grip. But the biggest party piece of this set is the Blitz Gundam inspired Assault Shroud armor. To equip it, the beam sabers are firstly removed, then the chest and skirt armor are plugged on directly. The leg armor then sandwiches on. The blue wrist armor is swapped out for the black ones before equipping the forearm weapons. Some shoulder plates are attached to accept the weapon containers, with one of the beam sabers transferred to the left shoulder container, before the backpack armor plugs on from behind and the top. This results in the Duel Blitz Gundam, and all I can say is, I love this look. It's got the angular aesthetics, extra accenting between the haze blue, light orange, and black, and a mixture of motifs between the original Assault Shroud and the Blitz Gundam. The balanced bulk of the armor thanks to the accurate sculpt makes it so that no area looks out of balance, as if it's a natural extension of the base unit. What's even more apparent here is the part separation, as most of the color details are made from plastics, with the exception of the orange of the front skirts and the claw, as well as the black insides of the calf thrusters, which are filled in with stickers. However, as with the backpack, large chunks of color are missing, like the shoulder thrusters and the central backpack armor, all of which could have easily been plastic pieces. Besides, the crest of the back skirt, thrusters on the darts, and the additional thruster rims need painting as well. Filling in recesses with black will also help pick out the detail even more. Again, the Duel Blitz looks great on the surface level, and the engineering has to be acknowledged, but the way they cheaped out on the thrusters just puts a dent in the straight build aesthetics. That kind of extends to the articulation as well, as the large chunks of shoulder and backpack armor get in the way of movement. A lot. Besides, the arm raise and ab crunches are heavily restricted because of it. Thankfully, the waist still has a rotation, and the front skirts can actually move, so that the legs still retain full range of motion. What's even better is that the armor pieces are all solidly equipped, so it's just as easy to handle as the base form, but the horrendously limited arms just don't help, especially not for aiming off to the side without looking ridiculous. For additional weapons, besides the tabs on the left shoulder container for flipping out the beam saber, another hatch can be opened to access the Torrent's automatic guided mid-range anti-air missile launcher. However, you need to paint in the details yourself as well. On the right shoulder is the high energy beam cannon that can flip out for use to fire, physical railgun projectiles? What? It features a green sticker for the scope and can alternatively be dismounted and used in the hand with the flip out handle. Next is the high speed kinetic propelled Lancer Dart 2. Both of the darts can be rearranged or fully detached to simulate them being fired off, but it's a straightforward weapon otherwise. Finally, there's the Piercer Lock. Wait. Piercer Rock Gleipnir 2. It features movable claw pieces, and a yellow wire is included to launch it out from direct attachment into the housing and the business end. And an included display base can prop up the Pierce the Rock for display. Though one weakness of the moving claws is that they don't fix in place when closed, which is a bit annoying if you're pedantic about alignment. Though if for some reason you mess one of them up, an extra one is left over in case you need a backup. As a bonus, the high-grade Duel Blitz is compatible with the high-grade Meteor unit, as demonstrated in the box and the manual. Sadly, as I do not want to cripple my finances and space, I can't personally demonstrate that feature. But on the subject of compatibility, trying to put on the original's Assault Shroud is a fool's errand, as none of the parts are compatible due to the parts dimensions and different connections. By extension, 3mm pegs will not work on the forearms, and because this kit uses the seat action system, only the head and backpack are universally compatible, as long as the backpack's curves don't get in the way. And only the arms and legs are cross-compatible with select seat freedom kits on top of that. I'm sorry to those who want to make an updated BD rider. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised that Bandai were rebuilding the Duel and Buster from the ground up for the movie releases, as I thought they would go the high-grade Tristan route, and this kit has a lot to show for it. On the surface, the high-grade Duel Blitz looks great in either form with minimal effort, while providing a wide feature set that is simplistic to use and complemented by the flexible articulation, solid structure, and auxiliary supports. But it also felt like however many steps Bandai took forward, they seem to have taken a quarter of it back, as the missing gray for the thrusters sully the straight build looks, while the highly restrictive compatibility and limited aiming angle when armored up might be turn-offs to some. Besides, the cleanup phases aren't exactly the smoothest despite the simple core build. To put it bluntly, I have mixed feelings for this kit, since it feels like Bandai could have done a little bit more but chose not to. But it's undeniable the work already put in resulted in a very playable and improved high-grade Duel Gundam that outclasses its previous incarnation. Sure, you can be hung up about the unpainted thrusters and shunting completely, but I would say it still did enough to be recommended to those interested. And that's all from me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.